the time that you do spend, even though it's maybe less time on paper, right? It will be exponentially more effective in your life. All of us want to experience a long career, I would expect, right? And in order to do that, you need to be investing the time now, no matter if you're 18, you're starting college, or if you're in your 50s, right? You need to be investing time now so that you can experience longevity in your career. It could be, I'm going to go on a walk every day for 15 minutes. It's December right now while I'm recording this, so, wear a coat, but it could be something as simple as that. Or it could even be, I'm going to spend, an hour longer with my significant other watching Netflix. I don't know, whatever you guys like to do. Just something that gets you focusing on living a fulfilled life instead of just focusing on what's the next thing I have to perfect in the practice room. The principle is, as you invest your time in other things, your musicianship goes up. Welcome back to another episode of Trust the Process, everyone. Today I wanted to talk about something that I don't believe is talked about enough in the musician world, and that is the principle of investment. Now, when I say that word, what do you think of? Money, right? Well, that's what I think of too, honestly, when I think of investment on the first go around. But when I think about it more deeply, I think about the resource that we have that's even more precious to us than money. And what is that? Time. Our time is the most precious resource we have because we don't know how much of it we have, honestly, right? We don't know how much time we have in our life to be able to do the things that we want to do. And us as musicians, we tend to not necessarily use it in the best of ways. We don't necessarily invest our time in the things that will bring us the most return on our investment, our ROI, that's the term used in the business world. And the thing I want to talk about, I want to give you kind of the principle and then some strategies that you can implement in your day. And this goes for every musician, not just musicians who are recovering from injury, not just musicians who are in college, not just professional musicians. This is everybody. So when we invest something, the hope is that we give something now to hopefully get a greater return or more from that little that we gave, that we get more from it later on, right? Could be years down the road, could be tomorrow, could be in an hour. But we're giving up something now to get something greater later. And it's true because it rhymes, right? And so, for example, if I'm in the practice room, right, and something is not going well, like say I'm super tense and I'm trying to practice, but it's not working out and all I'm doing is getting frustrated, well, you could keep trying to beat your head against the wall, proverbially speaking, and try to keep rehashing and perfecting that thing that you're working on. Or you could invest some of your time, your most precious resource, into sitting back, putting the horn or the instrument down, and doing some breathing exercises, some meditation. Go on a walk even. Do something to clear your head, because if you give that little time, the time that you give back or that you get when you get back will be that much more efficiently spent, right? And this is much, and this next thing is especially important for people who are going through injury recovery as musicians, but is, I think, equally important for injury prevention, is investing in the other facets of our life. And this is something that we definitely don't talk about enough as musicians. We have so much time in the day, and especially for collegiate musicians, where we have ensembles, classes, lessons. You're practicing sometimes, I've heard of people practicing 10 hours a day. And that's a lot of time, right, to invest in one thing. But it's been my experience that as I have spent less time, like from a numbers standpoint, less time in the practice room, and divided that, not equally, but given that to some other facets of my life, like going to the gym or reading a book or spending time with a significant other, that my time in the practice room is exponentially more effective. Some people like to say that a little bit goes a long way, right? And I mean, guys, come on. Some of us, we're blowing raspberries into a piece of plumbing, right? What we do is meaningful to us, but it shouldn't be the only time that or the only thing that we invest our time in, right? And so the principle is, as you invest your time in other things, your musicianship goes up. The thing that I will always say, from now that I've experienced it, I didn't say this before, or I didn't believe this before, but as the quality of your life, overall life goes up, as the quality of your overall life goes up, your musicianship will also go up with it. It's a proportional relationship. And then as you do that, you'll be able to see your musicianship and your career as a musician from a whole different standpoint, from a whole different viewpoint. You'll be able to be more creative because you'll have more experiences outside of the practice room or outside of the performing hall to draw from. You'll be able to experience deeper emotions because of the time that you're spending outside of the practice room. The principle, like I said, is as you invest your time in other aspects of your life, then you will experience an exponential growth in your musicianship. The time that you do spend, even though it's maybe less time on paper, right, it will be exponentially more effective in your life. You can't be burning the candle at both ends and try to get and expect to get the candle to be lasting longer, right? We have, all of us want to experience a long career, I would expect, right? And in order to do that, you need to be investing the time now, no matter if you're 18, just starting college, or if you're in your 50s, right? You need to be investing time now so that you can experience longevity in your career and be able to actually love what you're doing down the road, right? And this is how you avoid burnout. This is the key to avoiding burnout, is investing the time now in these other parts of your life to live a more holistic lifestyle than just living in the practice room. So this is a message that definitely collegiate musicians need to hear. This is a message that is extremely important for musicians who are recovering from injury to hear, because this is the time for you guys. I mean, I'm talking as a musician who still, I'm still working on being able to play my instrument again. I'm still not able to perform. And what I've been able to see is that as I've invested in my physical health and my social health, my emotional health, therapy, things like that, I have been able to bring a deeper version of myself to the practice room when I am able to play or when I am able to create music. And that's going to be the same for you. You'll be able to have, like I said, more experiences to draw from and more energy to be able to create the music that you love. Another thing that you could do is think of the hobbies that you have outside of music. Just take a piece of paper and write them down, and then give them to a friend of yours that you can be give them to a friend of yours who will hold you accountable and say, I'm going to do this one thing this week. It could be, I'm going to go on a walk every day for 15 minutes. It's December right now while I'm recording this, so, wear a coat, but it could be something as simple as that. Or it could even be, I'm going to spend, an hour longer with my significant other watching Netflix. I don't know, whatever you guys like to do. Just something that gets you focusing on living a fulfilled life instead of just focusing on what's the next thing I have to perfect in the practice room. So I hope this all made sense. Drop a comment or a question, shoot me an email if you have any questions or anything else you'd like to discuss about this topic. The principle of investment is a life principle, not just a money principle, and it's especially important for us musicians. So, until next time, see ya. Thanks for listening into our conversation today. I hope you got as much out of it as I did. Make sure you share this with a musician you care about who's going through injury, or a music educator in your life, or anyone just trying to make it in life. If you have a suggestion for a guest or topic to cover, shoot me an email at trustprocesspodcast@gmail.com or send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Before we go, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you and shout out to my team, Daniel Baldwin, who is my audio engineer, Kevin West, who does all music and sound effects for the show, and my sister Dana Lovell, who created the logo and promotional materials. We wouldn't have this show without them. So tune in next time for another episode of Trust the Process.